The name of our topic is air. Now, we all know that all the living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere, which is a huge blanket of air. Now, they need this atmosphere for their survival as it provides us with the air that we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of the sun's rays. We are going to study about three important things. First, we will be reading about the composition of air. Second, we will be discussing about the structure of air. And lastly, we'll talk about the elements of weather and climate. So, let us start with the composition of air. Now, air is actually a mixture of many gases. Nitrogen and oxygen are the two gases which make up the bulk of the atmosphere, whereas the carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, and hydrogen are also found but in lesser quantities. Now, apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. So let us now understand about the significance of each of these gases. First, let us discuss about nitrogen. Now, nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air. When we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen into our lungs and exhale it. But plants need nitrogen for their survival. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the air, but the bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its forms so that plants can use it. Now, we shall talk about the importance of oxygen. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in this air. Humans and animals take oxygen from the air as they breathe. Now, green plants produce oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. In this way, oxygen content in the air remains constant. If we cut trees, then this balance gets disturbed. So, now we shall move on to talk about the next gas, that is the carbon dioxide. So, carbon dioxide is also an important gas. Green plants use this to make their food and release oxygen. Humans or animals release carbon dioxide, and the amount of carbon dioxide which is released by the humans or animals seems to be equal to the amount which is used by the plants, which makes a perfect balance. However, the balance is upset by the burning of fuels such as the coal and oil, and they add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. Now, as a result of this, the increased volume of carbon dioxide is affecting the Earth's weather and the climate. Also, carbon dioxide, which is released in the atmosphere, creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the Earth. It is therefore also called a greenhouse gas, and without it, the Earth would have been too cold to live in. However, when its level in the atmosphere increases due to the factory smoke or car fumes, the heat retained increases the temperature of the Earth. This process is called global warming. Now, this rise in temperature causes certain things like first, the melting of snow and glacier, second, rise in sea level, third, increase in flood, fourth, climate change, and lastly, difficult for some crops to grow. So, this was about the importance of gases, namely the nitrogen, the oxygen, the carbon dioxide. Now, let's talk about the structure of air. So, they are namely first the troposphere, second stratosphere, third mesosphere, fourth thermosphere, and lastly exosphere. First, we will discuss the troposphere. Now, this layer is the most important layer of the atmosphere. Its average height is 13 kilometers, and the air that we breathe exists here. Almost all the weather phenomena like the rainfall, fog, hailstorm all occur in this particular layer. Now, the second layer is the stratosphere, which lies above the troposphere. Now, it extends up to a height of 50 kilometers. and this layer is almost free from clouds and associated weather phenomena, thereby making conditions most ideal for flying aeroplanes. Now, one important feature of stratosphere is that it contains a layer of ozone gas. Hence, it protects us from the harmful effect of the sun's rays. Now, the third layer is the mesosphere. This is the third layer of the atmosphere which lies above the stratosphere. It extends up to the height of 80 kilometers. Meteoroids burn up in this layer on entering from the space. The fourth layer is the thermosphere. In thermosphere, the temperature rises very rapidly with increasing height. Ionosphere is a part of this layer. It extends between 80 to 400 kilometers. Now, this layer helps in the radio transmission, or we can say, in other words, radio waves transmitted from the earth are reflected back to the earth by this layer. And lastly is the exosphere, which is the uppermost layer of the atmosphere, and it has very thin air. Light gases like helium and hydrogen float into the space from here. So this was about the structure of the atmosphere. Let us discuss about the elements of weather and climate. Now, before we study about the elements of weather and climate, it is very important to understand the difference between the two, that is the weather and the climate. So what do we mean by weather and climate? Well, weather is the hour to hour, or we can say day to day condition of the atmosphere. It can change dramatically from day to day. However, the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate of a place. Now, there are four major elements of weather and climate: A. Temperature, B. Air pressure, C. Wind, and D. Moisture. So, the first element was temperature. The degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. Different places on the earth has different temperature because distribution of temperature depends upon insolation. Now, insolation is the incoming solar energy which is intercepted by the earth, and the amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. That is, the temperature decreases from the equator towards the poles. Hence, the temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night, but also from season to season. Or we can say, in other words, summers are hotter than the winters. Also, poles are covered with snow because of less insolation. And temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages because of two important reasons. First, because of the use of certain materials such as concrete, metals, asphalt, and second reason is because of the high rise buildings that are there in these cities. The second element of weather and climate is air pressure. So, air above us presses us with a great force on our bodies. However, we do not feel it. This is because the air presses us from all the directions and our body exerts a counter pressure. So, air pressure is defined as the pressure that is exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. And as we go up the layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. The air pressure is highest at sea level and it decreases with height. Horizontally, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by the temperature of air at a given place. Now, in areas where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. This creates a low pressure area, and a low pressure area is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. Whereas in areas having low temperature, the air is cold. It is therefore heavy. So, heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area, and high pressure area is associated with clear and sunny skies. So, the air always moves from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. So this was about the second element regarding the weather and climate, that was the air pressure. Now we will be discussing about the third element, that is wind. Now what do we mean by wind? The movement of air from a high pressure area to a low pressure areas is called the wind. Now winds can be divided into three types. So what are these three types of wind? So permanent winds are the trade winds, westerlies and easterlies. These blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction, and these winds change their direction in different seasons. For example, monsoons in India. And local winds, these blow only during a particular period of the day or year in a small area. For example, the land and the sea breeze, Lu, hot and dry local wind of northern plains. Okay, so this was about the third element. Now we shall be discussing about the last element of weather and climate, that is the moisture. Now, when water evaporates from the land and different water bodies, it becomes water vapor. And moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. So, as the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, and so it becomes more and more humid. Now, on a humid day, clothes take longer to dry, and sweat from our body does not evaporate easily, making us feel very, very uncomfortable. And when the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. So, the water vapor condenses, causing the formation of droplets of water. And clouds are just masses of such water droplets. When these droplets of water become too heavy to float in air, then they come down as precipitation. And precipitation then comes down to earth in liquid form is called the rain. Now, on the basis of the mechanisms, there are three types of rainfall: the conventional rainfall, the orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. However, most of the groundwater also comes from the rainwater. So this was about the entire topic, where we first discussed about the composition of air, where we discussed about the various gases which are present there and the importance of certain gases. Second, we moved on to discuss about the structure of air, where we discussed about the 5 layers that forms our atmosphere, and then we discussed about the various elements of weather and climate. So this is all. Thank you.